Hello YouTube. Today we're going to do something very exciting. Well, not yet, but this is the first step in a very exciting project that I've really been wanting to do for many years. And that is building an absolutely retro gaming computer. Recently I built that Pentium III rig again, and it's been a blast from the past. It really has been. But, I just want to go back all the way from back to the era when I was like really little, and I used to play games like Doom and Grand Theft Auto 1 and all of the DOS classics, even from before that, even like Commander Keen a little bit as well, Wolfenstein 3D, Wacky Wheels, all the kinds of games from back then, and I just really enjoyed them. And while I can run them on the Pentium 3 just fine, I always wanted something that was more fitting to this particular scenario. So what I did, I went online and I was looking for an ancient socket with a modern form factor, which pretty much means socket 7 on an ATX board or micro ATX, because AT cases and especially power supplies are pretty hard to find these days, and motherboards are actually really fucking easy, but just cases and power supplies that are really annoying to find. You just can't, and most ATX cases can't fit them anyway. There's just a really small amount of cases that can do this. So, that's what I did. I put up an ad that I was looking for a socket 7 ATX board. Got a reply in, well, a matter of just a couple of hours. And, yeah, I don't even know the full configuration of what I've got. So, this is going to be a little bit of an exploration as well. So now I just need to unbox this. Need to be very careful because it's stuck in this monitor box. All I really did before this was take off the shipping label because my address is none of your beeswax, unless you wanted to make donations or anything, but stuff like that you can do through the mail. I've got a mail address listed on my channel that you can send me information or questions to. That is nellismaster@gmail.com, in case you were wondering. So I'm just taking off all of this packing material, and we can see the board now. It's a full set. It's not just, just a bare motherboard. I would have had a cooler and CPU for this socket. I have an AMD K6 266 laying around, so if the CPU turns out to be a little bit too weak, I will install the K6. Oh yes. This is the reason I wanted a socket 7 board with ATX form factor, because you can fit this in any old ATX case no problem, even a modern one. That would be fun. But also because of this, because it has the ATX power connector. This is the 20 pin, the earlier connector. I wanted a board with DIMM support, so dual inline memory modules instead of the single inline memory modules or SIMs that are on this board. But the board came with the SIMs, so I was like, sure, I'll take it. I don't know how much memory it is. We're about to find out as well. But I just need to put this down, get a better look at it, and probably put it on the desk and just inspect every single bit of it. So let's do that. Okay, now we can take a little bit of a better look at the board. So, like I already covered, we've got a 20-pin ATX connector, so I can hook it up to any old ATX power supply. I don't know which CPU is under there. We're about to find out, I think. But from what I can gather, or what I can see from here, it's a purple chip, so it's most definitely a Pentium chip. The ceramic ones, very nice. Gotta love that. But yeah, I wanted to take a look at the RAM as well. It's just that I really don't know anything about this vintage of hardware. That's why I really wanted to deal with this kind of stuff. So I can learn the whole process, have some fun with it. At least we've got two different kinds of SIMs in here. So probably two different capacities. If I were to guess, I would say that we have about somewhere between like 32 and 64 megs or something like that. That's what I would guess that would be on this board. Something I really like about this particular board is also that it has a regular coin cell battery, None of those leaky ones that you see on the much older boards from like the 386 and 486 era. That's definitely a pro. Got 3 ISA slots, which is very nice because I will be needing one of them at least for this build that I'm going to do with it. And yeah, no fan headers yet on boards of this vintage apparently. So we have a Molex fan. That's no biggie, not at all. By the way, one thing that I've really noticed so far is that this board has full-on solid-state capacitors. There are none of those really, you know, the typical capacitor you would find from the capacitor plague era. There's just not a single one of them on this board. Really, really nice. By the way, I have absolutely no freaking clue what the type of or chipset of this board is. It's just, it says Intel all over the freaking place, so it probably has an Intel chipset for PCI at least. That's what I can gather, but what this particular board really is, I have no idea. This was shipped to me very quickly, and I have really no freaking clue. But yeah. So yeah, it's a socket 7 board. We've got 4 PCI slots and 3 ISA slots. So we can put in all of the expansion I would need for this. In fact, I've already sort of dug up a bunch of parts that I'm going to be using with this. Let me just see. I'll just put this in a frame right here for you. There we go. This is a Seagate Medalist drive, 3.2 gigabytes. It was apparently used in an OEM machine from Hewlett-Packard, or HP. So yeah, 3.2 gigs. Regular 3.5-inch IDE drive. Supports Ultra ATA. Oh yeah. And I got a nice sticker on the back for the Seagate software, the Disk Wizard software. Very nice. So I'll definitely be using this. Let's see here. For a sound card, we've already seen this one before. I'm going to be using the Creative Sound Blaster AW64. This is a value edition, but it should be nice enough. Of course, you can see this is ISA, so that's why I needed the ISA slot. CPU will probably be fine, unless it's really old Pentium for socket 7. But they're mostly MMX chips, I believe, so a Pentium MMX would be just fine. I will not be replacing that with a K6. So, the only thing I'm not quite sure about is video card. I have a bunch of cards for PCI, but most of them aren't really of that much vintage per se. So I'm like, on the background here, I'm looking through all of the cards I have, and I think the best card suited for this project will be this one. It's a very old card, but it works. It's an ATR 3D Rage 2. You can see there. Let me focus on that a little bit. No, I can't. Okay. Yeah, this is the 3D Rage 2 Plus DVD edition, so it probably has an MPEG 2 decoder on board. Yay. So pretty much, I got a hard drive, I got a sound card, even though this board has onboard sound. I'm not going to be using that. Yeah, disc, sound card, video card. That's pretty much all we really need to get it up and running. Well, of course, we also need a floppy drive. I have one of those. And I have one of the cases that's going to bleed again for my for my project. Until I can find maybe a little bit of a better case or so. But I've got a case laying around. So yeah. I'm just really quickly trying to scrounge up some other parts here. Probably will also be using this one. I'll need to figure out how to get a faceplate on it. This is a 3COM 100 megabit Ethernet card. Having network access, even on an old machine, may prove to be a little bit of a challenge, but it's also very useful sometimes. So yeah. And I'll just go over the board a little bit more then, in the meantime. Because now we know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to turn it into a DOS gaming PC. With probably Windows 95 on top for the GUI part of all the things. It's just because some games require Windows, even from back then. So we got a bunch of IDE connectors here. We got 2 IDE channels, as well as the floppy channel right there. The front panel hookup is all the way up here. That's going to be very interesting, but shouldn't be much of a problem, I think. And if it is, then, well, all front panel connectors can go fuck itself, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'll figure something out for that. So that's good. There is actually a 3-pin fan header back here, so I'm not really sure. It's probably just this fan that does not support 3-pin. All other kinds of jumpers are down here to set bus speed and all that good stuff in order for the CPU to work properly. And that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot of jumpers on this board. It's pretty much mostly a jumperless board, aside from the little jumper section over here. So it's in fact quite modern actually, which is very nice. In terms of I/O on the back, that's something that I haven't yet touched on. We have 2 PS2 ports. We have a COM port here. We have parallel, MIDI/game port, and the onboard stereo audio. Got a bunch of headers here left, but they're probably like, I don't know, J1 F1 it says. I'll look it up in a manual. It's probably something like front panel audio or something along those lines. Not going to be using that either. Right. This has been an overview and introduction to the DOS gaming PC project that I will be undertaking. And, well, that's not even the proper word. Yay for anglicisms. My brain is really off today. I'm sorry about that. But, yeah, I will be building this classic DOS gaming PC out of these parts because they are, well, at least the board is slightly modern, has solid state caps, so it should be fine. Stability, I don't know. There are some people in my subscriber base that I think know much more about this stuff than I do. Especially some other guys that have been commenting recently. For instance, High Treason is a very good source on all of this old stuff. I've been watching his content for a long time now, and I've learned a couple things here and there about his content, but I haven't actually done anything with this particular stuff, so I'll have to take a good look at all of this and think about getting everything set up. I think this is recent enough that I can work on this more easily, and the next step, 386, 486, will be at some point down the road, but for now I'm going to be messing with this. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will keep you updated on the progress, and I thank you all for watching.